All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting for June 12th, 2024. Please note the members that are in attendance. I think we're just missing Mr. Harvey tonight. Did everybody get a copy of their minutes? And that would be from May 22nd.
Yes.
Did everybody get a chance to read them? Okay, so if I can get a motion to approve.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
All right, can I have a second?
Second.
All right, do we have anything to discuss or change or anything? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from May 22nd, 2024, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we are good. All right, so I guess we are jumping to Councilwoman Fuller.
Okay. The chair, we're nomination election of the chair tonight because we're going to be taking off July. So in that case, we're going to go ahead and get that done tonight. The chair is nominated and elected each year and conducts the Parks and Rec Advisory Board meetings, ensuring that each meeting conforms to the rules of order as delineated in City Code, Chapter 153-13D. So we are going to go ahead and open that up for nominations for the position. Anyone looking for a nomination?
If she would be agreeable, I would move to nominate by acclamation Kelly Bowie to retain her position.
Can we get a second on that?
I'll second that.
Okay, in that case, let's go ahead and put that up to a vote. All in favor of Kelly maintaining that position, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And there you have it. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you. All right. So with that, we'll get the party started. All right, thank you for having confidence in me for another year. I appreciate it. Unfinished business. We've got lots to talk about, so I'm going to throw that to Lorena. We're going to talk about Memorial Park.
Yes, the expansion project, update on the expansion project. So I thought that Arrow had already submitted the revised forest conservation plan to the county as well as a revised set to State Highway Association or Administration, sorry, in order for their comments to be addressed. But they weren't. There was some kind of delay. So they've just gone in today. So we are, again, now in a holding pattern, waiting for those agencies to give us their approval. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they will. And then we can move forward with producing the Mylars and conveying easement deeds, and then we can release our RFP after, of course, the Planning Commission approves that final site plan. Morton is moving right along, and they're aiming to get us their 90% completion plans for the multipurpose building shortly. So that's going to be good. So we can review that before they move forward with that. That's all I have for that. Do you want me to just continue rolling along?
Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Yep.
Okay, all right. Update on Memorial Park splash pad. Speaking of things on hold, this is definitely on hold for right now, simply because we need to evaluate the funding. It's a minimum of $640,000 for construction only. That does not include ongoing maintenance, chemical supplies for treatment, et cetera. And without additional residential development to replenish our park impact fee funds, the only available funding to us is the general fund. And that's really not supposed to be used on park capital projects. So I have a feeling that we are going to be pushing that to a future fiscal year for that expenditure. That will, on the other hand, give us the opportunity to apply for grants for it. So we'll just hope for the best, cross our fingers that we are awarded some grant funding in order to enable us to put that in. But for right now, it's still in the in the fiscal year budget as adopted on Monday night at the council meeting. But the CIP, the capital improvement plan, has not yet been presented and adopted. So we may end up shifting it and making that budget amendment in August to remove it from fiscal year '25. So that's the status on that.
Okay.
Update on general park improvements. Work continues on Flickinger Park. They're out of the 3 pathways, the 2 walkable ones and then the 1 drivable one. The 2 walkable ones have been converted to concrete. So the asphalt was demoed out and concrete sidewalks were put in. They look very nice. The next step is to get in there via that drivable one and do that grading that's required there for proper stormwater flow. We'll seed it, plant the trees that we have earmarked for it, willow trees and a couple of oaks, and then repave that drivable path. We are also going to be putting in some no parking signs along that drivable path because there is a resident on Keenan Street who, when they have parties, is apparently telling the party guests to park on the parkland behind their house. So they're driving down that drivable path and then just parking behind the host's house, the resident's house.
Okay.
So we don't want that, and we don't want it turned into, overflow parking for someone's
For the
festivities.
community.
Right, exactly. So those no parking signs will go up as we're finishing that project, so that the police, when they're called, have recourse to say, you
I was
can't
gonna
park
say,
here,
yeah.
get out of here. The State Board of Public Works encumbered the grant funding for both of our program open space grant projects. So that would be the Memorial Park tot lot playground replacement and the field lighting installation for THS Park. So I'm working with the contractors for those projects to get the materials ordered and the jobs scheduled. So that'll be nice to get those in there, yes, yeah. It looks like right now, the playground contractor, I touched base with them today, and they said probably near the end of August that they would be replacing that. So in a way, that's good, because then everyone will get their last, summer usage out of the playground, rather than having that out of commission right in peak playground time, yeah. Yes. And the field lighting installation should be installed and operational before the Monarchs softball team needs to use those fields for play for their fall league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any questions on any of that?
Do we have rules in place though for the softball when they need to?
We will be.
Okay.
We will definitely be putting rules in, the lights have to go off by, what do you think is reasonable, 9 o'clock for a softball game in the fall?
Okay, just depending on,
Past that? What do you think, Jerry?
I wouldn't go past that.
Most of your games start at 6.
So is 9 o'clock reasonable, or should we bump it to 10?
Yeah, is it, the game's probably gonna, I know for a baseball game, it's normally like 2.5 hours, and then you do need time to wrap everything
Clean
up.
up, yeah, and all
so
that, yeah.
3 hours might be a tight window,
Okay,
so I would say 10.
10, okay. All right, I'll make a note of that.
Of course, we'll adjust as needed.
Right,
or as
exactly, right.
received from.
Indeed. And part of the RFP and the contract is that, our goal is to minimize light trespass on those residential properties that are behind, there on Carroll Heights. So 10 PM, I hope, is a reasonable time for them to expect those lights to be off, right? Update on 2020, I can't talk, update on 2024 events. Our family movie nights are kicking off. The first one is The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's going to be Saturday, June 29th. They start at 8:30. This year, we are having Kona Ice roll in and set up down there. And we, Parks and Rec, are paying for a $4 off any treat of their choice for the first 25 attendees. So we'll hand them a coupon, they'll redeem that at Kona Ice, and then I'll go over at the end of the evening and settle up with them. Yeah. So we can do that for the first 4 movies. The last one, we're not able to do that. I'll be out of the country and Kona Ice can't make it either, so,
Okay.
yeah, yes. Yeah, so that's $100. So that's not too bad in order to get, some more attendees down there maybe. Our next big event is the Independence Day celebration on Wednesday, July 3rd, starting at 6. So we're gonna have some food vendors there, the DJ, games, a face painter, a bounce house. So the fireworks go off at 9:30. So it should be a good time for all. Yeah.
Do you need help with anything, or are you good?
No, I'm good on that, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The summer scavenger hunt is going to launch on Friday. I'm really excited about this. So those rocks have been sitting in my office for a couple of months now, the painted rocks. I've got 20 prize bags filled and ready to go. So I'll be dropping those off at the library on Friday morning, and then I'll be going out to the parks and hiding the rocks. So I'm gonna hide them in all 6 of our developed parks. Yeah. So there'll be, a few at Bollinger, a couple here, a couple there, at all of our parks. And the rocks all have a note on the back of them that state, take this rock to the library for a prize. Because while I've got a flyer and I'm gonna post that out on Friday afternoon on Facebook when I return. Not everybody has Facebook access, may even see the post even if they are on Facebook. So that note hopefully will get them to the library and pick up their prize bag and turn that rock in. And that is something that I need to stress with the library as well. In their printed sheet of instructions, please ask for the rock and keep it. So that way they don't go in there, pick up their prize bag and walk back out, with the rock, yeah. Birds and Bourbon at Bollinger, yay. That's been scheduled for Sunday, September 29th. That was the only day that I could get both Kimberly from Taneytown Liquors and David Smith from the Carroll County Bird Club together to do that. So that's gonna be a long weekend for me with the Harvest Festival the day before, but that's okay. So we're gonna run that from 3 to 5:30 p.m. So 3 to 3:30 will just be an initial bourbon tasting, a quick introduction to the bourbons. And then off everybody will go from 3:30 until 4:30 on the bird walk. And then when they get back from 4:30 until 5:30, there'll be a more in-depth educational session and tasting of the bourbons. We are going to list on the registration form that all participants will need to have a designated driver. And also what we're going to do is we're going to limit it to 15 participants. So that way, I want to make sure we have enough parking for not only the participants, but for Kimberly from Taneytown Liquors and David from the Bird Club. We are gonna have to close the park down for this event from, I would say, maybe 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the event. So that way that parking is reserved. Now, how we're going to enforce, I'm gonna put signs up and hopefully put a notice out and whatever publication we'll have at that point that the park, Bollinger Park, will be closed from 2 to 6 p.m. So that brings me to my next update on events, and that is that we've put a listing of summer events that are occurring in city Parks and Rec events as well as Main Street events together, along with holidays when the city office is closed and meetings for the summer. That went out in the water report mailing, or will be going out this week, so that everyone who has a water account will receive that listing of events. So it'll be good to help get the word out. But we're just hoping that a decision is made soon so that we can also, have a method of advertising our fall and winter events as well.
Right.
Because, we were able to piggyback off the water report this time, but,
There won't
you know,
be
in
a
the
next time.
future,
Yeah.
right, yeah, exactly. We need to have some kind of publication. And I know that that's recognized, that we do need to have some sort of city publication, or at least a publication with city news in it, you know, a city article, something like that. But how that materializes, I don't know. So we'll just have to
Okay.
hope for the best.
Is that in the hands of, Main Street as well as council, or?
Well, and that's what we have to
Your mic.
decide.
Your mic, yeah.
Sorry. That's what we have to decide, is if we're going to continue it as being one publication, or if we're going to separate
Separate and do it.
certain things.
Okay.
There were talks about getting involved with the same person who does the Emmitsburg paper.
Okay.
And starting, you know, to use that as a real news source. Whether all of our city events and everything will be listed in there, or if there will be a separate, we haven't quite got there yet.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering if we couldn't partner at least for that to get the events in the Emmitsburg paper for now until a decision's made.
It's possible, but if we do that, we'll have to pay for that advertising.
Okay,
And that is the one thing, is that he does need
right.
payments for the advertising.
In order to make
Guess
it
run
we-
the paper, yeah.
Yeah, I can check with that, depending on how much it is. I'd
Right.
be willing
mean-
to donate that so we can get it out.
And that would still be cheaper than having to do the mailers every time, or,
Oh, yeah,
That's
definitely.
true.
so.
We could do that, just, you know, maybe we just do, for the parks and recreation events, we just list
Correct.
those and just have a little block in the Emmitsburg News Journal that just lists
Or
the
follow
event
us
name,
on- yeah.
the time, you know, please call, you know, City Hall Parks and Rec for more details.
Right.
Or something, or see our flyers on Facebook or something like that.
Just for right now, because I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to be decided and how long
Right.
that's going to take.
Right.
And I know it's not just yay or nay. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, exactly.
however we can.
Every few months, I know we get like the couponer magazine, and it has all like Westminster businesses have postings in there. And I wonder if that would work too, because we get that in Taneytown. I don't remember what it's called.
Like
I need to
the
look at it
Clipper
next time. Yeah, the Clipper
magazine?
magazine.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like maybe
That
we
might
put
be
something
more
like
How
that.
much,
expensive.
yeah, I don't know how much they're at.
Would be more
probably more
expensive because that's a
expensive.
glossy, yeah. Yeah. Alrighty, well, we'll see how that pans out, yeah. So that's all I have on that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move on then to recommendation for pavilion rental rates, nonprofit organizations. So we discussed, Jerry, you weren't here, but we discussed this last month. I want to read out what this community association, or definition of a community association is defined in zoning. An association organized for purposes other than generating profit, which primary purpose is for the benefit of the Taneytown community and its citizens. So while there are nonprofits that are, you know, the 501c3 status nonprofit, there are also community associations that may not have that 501c3 status. So I think that, you know, we do need to delineate in our little pavilion rental policy. Do we not charge for community associations? Do we not charge for nonprofit associations? I know that we discussed charging in-town, not charging in-town nonprofits and community associations for pavilion rental rates. But out of town would get a discounted half rate, whether that's, you know, $35 or what have you. And they would have to provide proof of their nonprofit status or community association status with an officer of the organization signing the pavilion reservation form, rather than, you know, someone just associated with whomever, you know, saying, yeah, we need the pavilion this Saturday, and who knows if it's, I hate to say it, but who knows if it would be, you know, legitimate. You just don't know. But with an officer or a person in charge of the organization having to sign that reservation form, that lends it that bit of credence that we would need as proof. So what is your recommendation on that?
Thoughts? All right, well, I'll start. I think we discussed last month, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think we talked about maybe two nonprofit organizations in town, like they get one.
A limit on the number,
Yes.
yes, you're right, yes.
So we did discuss that as well, so I
Okay.
want to throw that on the table if that's if that's the consensus.
Right. What would be a reasonable number of comped pavilion rentals for a nonprofit or community association?
I'd say 2.
2 a
Yeah,
year?
one for
Okay,
the like spring, one for the fall.
good, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. All right, so 2.
And then anything after that,
Pay,
okay,
they pay full price then.
right,
Yes.
because I think that's a good deal.
We don't want to make it too complicated. with,
No,
Okay, you
no,
get
we
2
don't wanna.
freebies and then, you know, the
Right.
rest of them are discounted at half price. Just 2 freebies, I think.
Yeah.
Just keep it
I
simple.
think that's good.
Okay,
And is that for all of them or just the ones that are in town?
that's for in town.
Okay.
So
could-
for, what's that, Jerry?
So you could get them to like apply for those ahead of time so that you can check to make sure that they're like nonprofit, you know, you almost
Right.
issue a coupon.
Right,
You know, they come in and set, you know, you have their officer come in, sign, set up, you issue 2 coupons and then they use them throughout the year or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that way
Right.
you pre-authorize
that's a good
their
idea,
group to be
yeah.
able to do it.
Perhaps so, for the ones that we know use the pavilions, you know, to let them know. Or, you know, we could just wait until they call to make the reservation and state, you know, our new policy is this.
So maybe
Going
out
forward.
of town could be one?
At a discount?
No.
One at
just
the discount
free.
or just one free?
One free.
One free?
I don't know. I'm throwing it out.
I feel like out of town should be, well, now, let's clarify, out of town.
Right.
Is that in, you know, out of town, outside of the 21787 zip code?
Right.
We're not discussing, you know,
Right.
city limits, but the entire zip code. I don't want to get too much, you know,
Right.
too
So are we
delve
just
too
gonna go
deeply
with
into
two?
this.
Just 21787.
Do you want to, do you recommend that? Just go for any nonprofit, 2 complimentary pavilion rentals a year?
Yeah, you could even do like within like a 10-mile radius of City Hall if you wanted to make it a little more simple. I don't know. That might be getting too much into it though.
Right, I was going to say, we don't want to overcomplicate it.
I mean, I guess if it's a 21787 zip code, I mean, you're not extending it to Westminster and Emmitsburg and
Right.
wherever else. So
Exactly.
just because it's not, you know, the city limits, doesn't matter, you know, so I would say just do it to the zip code.
How many out-of-town nonprofits do we get typically using the pavilions?
Oh, I don't have the number, but we do get a lot of, you know, schools who want, from Westminster, Montessori, and, you know, stuff like that, that want to come up to our pavilions at Memorial Park and make those reservations and such. And we haven't been charging them at all, you know, so I feel like we are losing a lot of revenue on those pavilions. And those concrete floors were not cheap.
Could we do then I'm wondering if anything outside of 21787, one free, and the rest pay.
Well, but I would almost
I
say
don't know.
a discounted rate, at least, I mean,
At least we're getting
we're
something.
getting something for the maintenance of those
Yes, because
pavilions.
the time that the public works crew spends coming in after, especially on weekends, you know, when they're on call in the mornings, if there's a reservation made for a Saturday, they have to come in. I mean, they're coming in anyway on Sunday morning to, you know, check the well houses and such, but then they have to take the time to go over and make sure that all the trash cans are emptied, make sure the pavilions haven't been trashed, you know, and make sure everything is in good working order, especially if there's another reservation for Sunday.
Right.
Well, I have a question. What if you do like, if you're within the 21787, you get the 2 free ones a year, and like outside, like if they wanted to use it more, it would be 50% off, and then do anybody outside of the 21787 zip code would be 50% off, and that would just be unlimited.
Right.
You know,
I like that.
if they
That
hold-
keeps it simple.
If they hold like
Yeah.
a monthly event, It's just, it would just,
Half
you
off.
know, be 50% off
Right.
for all nonprofits. But within our town, then we can give them 2 for free.
Yeah.
That works. Bill, did you have anything? I know you had.
I'm just trying to put something together in my head. It's not working.
It's fine. Anybody
At
have
this
any
point, it's not working. You know, I don't, whatever the geographic parameters you put on it, really, for me, is immaterial, unless you wanted to go more an actual 3-tier, where you have town people with one set of rules, community people in the zip code, and then outside. So, I mean, yeah,
Well, I'm feeling like that, for the ladies in the office who received the majority of these pavilion reservations, I think it's gonna be easier just to go by that zip code, 21787, that way they don't have to stop
Right.
and double check to say, okay, is that within city limits, is that outside of the official city
21787,
limits, you know,
yeah.
that kind of thing. If we go by zip code, I think that's gonna be the easiest. So they're putting in you know, the address of the organization. If it's 21787, then they get the 2 free a year, and then for the rest of them, they have to, they'll pay the half price, the discounted price. And then everyone outside of the 21787 zip code, they pay the full, the half price. No comps. Let's go with that. Is that is everybody in concurrence,
I agree
agreement
with
with that? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
that works.
Okay. All right, let's do it then. Alrighty then. Additional miscellaneous updates. Just wanted to let you all know that I will be at the MML Summer Conference in Ocean City from Sunday, June 23rd to Wednesday, June 26th. I'll be returning to the office on that Thursday, the 27th. So if there are any park emergencies, Kevin and Randy, the director and assistant director of the Public Works Department, will be managing the emergencies. So everything else will just have to wait until I get back. Obviously, I'll have access to emails and phone down there in Ocean City. So when I go out of the country, though, at the end of August and beginning of September, that's going to be a different story.
Don't call.
I won't. I just won't even have the
Leave me
reception.
alone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And that's all I have on unfinished.
Does anybody have any questions on what we went through already? All right, so new business, lots of post discussions.
Yes, post-event discussion.
Yeah,
So post-event discussion of Memorial Day ceremony and parade, though the weather did not cooperate as perfectly as we would have wanted. Both events were still held and were a success. I just want to thank the American Legion again for allowing us to use their Legion Hall for the ceremony. It looked a little dodgy there in the morning, and they were generous enough to say, hey, you can come here, use the Legion Hall. So we did that, and we had a higher attendance at the ceremony than we've had in past years, I think, because the Legion members knew that there was going to be the
Yes.
ceremony there. So a lot of them showed up for it. So
That's
that
nice.
it was a very nice ceremony. It was a nice commemorative event. And then the parade went well, although there was a little touch and go there for a few minutes when the raindrops started coming down, but we made it. We made it through. That was that. So that worked out well. And I also want to thank ACNB and Kenny's Marketplace for allowing us to use their parking lots for the staging and the disbursement areas. And then post-event discussion of Wine, Art, and Music Festival. I wish we'd had more attendees, but when we heard about what was going on in the surrounding areas and in the state, I'm glad that we had the attendees that we did, because because, you know, there were a lot of other things going on. And of course, also with graduation this time of year, graduation parties, and, you know, schools are letting out, so people are hitting the beach or, you know, taking their vacations or what have you early. So I think it all went well. We had a decent turnout. The craft vendors were happy and the beverage vendors were very happy. They did well, so that was good. I think we're going to go with that interspersed vendor layout again
That
next
worked
year,
well.
because I think that was successful, right? Instead of having the beverage vendors all grouped together, having them spread out just enabled some better business for them and the craft vendors as well.
And logistically, it kept the crowd
Yes,
dispersed,
exactly.
where you didn't have a mob.
Everybody congregating at the
Yeah,
beverage
at the same-
vendors, right? Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I talked to a bunch of the vendors during my walk around,
Yeah.
and all the beverage guys were very happy.
Yeah.
And the fudge guy was pretty pleased too,
Oh,
so.
good. I missed out on the fudge. I know at the end, it was a little chaotic for me that day, but we made it through another year in the books.
Woo,
So,
good job, guys.
yes, and
Yeah.
thank you all for, I know you weren't able to help, Jerry, but thank you for helping out. It really gets tricky when we're at these boots on the ground events, and, you know, I just can't do it without volunteer help, that's for sure. So I've given you the preliminary event cost sheet, so you know where things are shaking out on this. We are in the positive and not in the negative, so that's good. That's what we want to see. One thing we are changing for next year is that we are not offering vendor setup assistance. Vendors, and we'll do this for the Harvest Festival as well, just from here on out, no more vendor setup assistance. If they want to participate as a vendor at our event, they're going to have to, you know, be able to set their own place up and get
Find a
everything
friend.
situated.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's just too much of, unfortunately, a
lot.
burden on our volunteers to try to get these vendors, you know, set up. And I feel like, you know, we've established ourselves enough now that we don't need to offer that as an enticement anymore.
Yeah, we need to utilize our volunteers elsewhere.
Indeed.
Yeah, to get ready.
Indeed, yes, absolutely. Another thing that we're gonna be changing that's particular to the wine festival is the, one component of the VIP swag bag, and that's, I think we've only got like maybe 50 of those, waiter knives, the corkscrew and such. So we are going to be going with the glass lanyard, you know, and it can accommodate a stemmed glass or a stemless glass. And we're gonna go with the color blue, because that's our color, right? And then the Parks and Recreation logo on the front in white font with the white logo. So I'm getting a price on those, gonna order 500 of those, and then we'll have enough for next year and the year after that, hopefully. So we'll see. But that'll be something different for those repeat VIPs who've been coming to our
Something,
event.
yeah,
Yeah.
exciting.
Exactly, yep. So, I also I have to publicly thank our sponsors again, because without their financial assistance, their generous support, we wouldn't have been able to hold it. So that would be Evapco, the Tony Corporation, Barnes and Bollinger Insurance, Fern Rodkey Electric, the Carroll County Office of Tourism, Taneytown Liquors, Kenny's Marketplace, and the Taneytown Chamber of Commerce. So thank you very much, sponsors. We really do appreciate your assistance with that for our community events. And that's all I have on that from my point of view. What is your take on the event?
I thought it went really well. I spoke with pretty much all of the vendors, and they all seemed extremely happy. They loved the new setup and everything. I spoke with two younger girls. Both were running different booths. I don't remember the one girl's name, unfortunately, but I have her card somewhere. And she actually mentioned that she'd be willing to do graphic design for free next year, and just like comp it for us if we wanted. And they had a cool idea doing like vendor profiles, like maybe starting like 2 months before the event and having like a post on like Facebook or Instagram where we just like take like a picture of like a vendor and like interview them, asking what they do, how long they've been doing it, and showing like what the products that they'll be selling, and we can like incorporate like any of the wineries in there too. And I thought that might just be a good idea and like a different way to advertise it too, especially to more of like a younger population.
Right, right.
And trying to draw that in.
For the social media, yeah.
yeah.
I like that idea. I was thinking about it afterwards, when you and I briefly talked about this at the festival. And that's, allowing that person's access to our social media sites.
Well, she
That's
could
the
design
problem.
it and then
Yeah.
send it to you, and then you can post
okay.
it instead
Oh.
of having her like
Oh,
do
okay.
everything. Like she's willing to do like the design work, but not like the posting stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great then. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought of something else too.
If you get a chance, if you remember, at the next meeting.
I know exactly what booth she was
yeah.
gonna sit at. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
I need to look at the.
Right, exactly. Or send me her card, or just
Yeah.
even email me her contact information.
Okay.
And then I'll reach out to her. That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody said, just like looking online or whatever, that we should, even though I think we posted a lot on who was playing, but we could do kind of the same thing for like the band or
Right,
whatever.
right, yeah.
Maybe have some additional videos
Publicity.
or whatever
Yeah.
for them to
Right.
get more people to come out as well.
Okay.
Yeah, one other note. For the past couple of years, a lot of the wineries have concentrated on sweet, fruity, dessert-type wines. This year, they had some actual dinner wines.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that was a hit.
It was, yeah. After the event was almost over, I was running to those to get a couple of their reds, yeah, which weren't as sweet, yeah, as you say,
Somebody had a
dinner
cab
wines.
and
Right,
a Riesling, and some nice dinner stuff.
yes, indeed. Yeah, they all did very well, so I'm glad that it was a beautiful day. I'm glad the weather cooperated for once. Yay, thank you.
Yes, it probably was the most perfect day we ever had.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Do we advertise with the Maryland Wine Association at all?
No, we don't, but that's another good idea to check into those rates to see if we can advertise with that. Now, the state, there's a state event website, and I'm trying to remember now what it was. But I submitted the event information. Now, this was something that was brought to my attention, kind of late in the game, so to speak. I think it was like a week, maybe a week and a half prior to this past Saturday. So I went on there and, put all of the information on the event in and submitted it, and it never showed up. So I don't know what happened there, but that's another thing that I'm going to be getting on top of next year is what event, sharing websites can I get on and get our events submitted? Like I do it for the Carroll County Office of Tourism. And I've done that for our other events as well, loaded those in, but it's, I need to spread the net a little wider.
I've actually have one of my really close friends has a whole business that's dedicated to like social media and marketing, advertisement specifically, like paid ads, like pushing things to the top. So I might talk to him about how we could potentially do that.
Okay.
Because he'd do anything for us too. I know.
All right.
I can convince him.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you.
And also, there's an association of wineries in southern PA,
Oh, okay.
because there are a ton of them just across the border.
Oh, yeah, for
between here
sure.
and
Yeah.
Wherever. That might get us a couple of different vendor,
Well, you mean beverage vendors?
yeah.
They have to have a Maryland state liquor license. Yeah, we can't bring a PA winery in because that was the problem that, or Virginia, Delaware, anything out of state, they have to have a specific
License, yeah.
off-site event license, and those are very hard to come by in this state. Maryland is very protective of its beverage vendors, which, okay, I get that,
Anyway.
I can understand that. It was a good idea, though. Yeah,
I think there's a few though that are at the Beer and Barbecue Stroll in Westminster. So I'm kind of curious. Like I'll scope it out if I go this weekend and see
Yeah.
who they are. And contact them later.
Find out,
Yeah.
how'd you get that? Yeah.
Well, maybe if you do go to that, have a word with some of the breweries, maybe,
Oh,
because.
I was planning on talking to
Yeah,
most of them.
definitely, because, we had one brewery signed up, and they no-showed on us, so that was disappointing. I mean, and we've got a brewery down the road here in Taneytown that we need to have some hometown representation. I know that they were going through a management change recently, so, and I was informed that maybe next year, they'll be able to participate
There's
in
also
that.
9 breweries in Carroll County, and I feel like they all have representation this weekend in Westminster. Like
Yeah.
Rollman, 1623, Pub Dog, like they're all gonna be
Right.
there. And I'm like, how can we just like
Blood Zone.
convince them to
Right,
come
yeah.
here?
I know
Yeah.
for Westminster's wine event, though, I did find out that they do pay some of the
The vendors.
vendors to come. They pay the vendors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't afford that.
Well, we can't, yeah.
No. Nope. All right, well, we'll see where we go and, work on making next year even better, bigger and better.
Always.
So,
Consistency is key,
that's right, indeed.
We'll get it. All right,
Yeah.
so that is it.
That's on that, then,
Okay.
the next one, discussion of event partnership.
Okay.
There are a couple of events that the city has partnered with for various events. The Carroll Arts Center, Carroll County Arts Council, and the Chamber of Commerce. So Carroll County Arts Council, we partner with on the movies in the parks, the family movie nights, and we also partner with them on the Taneytown Artisan Fest. So, and the Chamber of Commerce, we partner with them on the trunk or treat that's held simultaneously, or, right there with the Tales of Taneytown at Memorial Park. So some of these events require really little time and effort from Parks and Recreation. Others require more. I think that, at this point, with all of the other events that we do, and given the fact that we are just a department of 1 full-time staff, meaning me, plus I also, am doing park projects, improvements, and development, that I think we're just, at this point, gonna have to start restricting event partnerships to those that require less effort on our part. But I think that, events that are held in our parks can go through the special event permit process, so that's fine. But until such time that we are staffed to accommodate additional partnerships, I just feel that we need to say, okay, we just can't partner with you on this, but you can still have your event,
Right.
just go through the special event permit application process. I mean, I hate to do that because there are a lot of organizations out there that I would love to partner with, but
But you're
I'm
only
only
one.
one
Yeah,
person,
you're
right?
only
I
one.
mean, if I could clone myself, I certainly would. I certainly would have done it on Saturday at the wine festival. I would have had
Yeah.
5 clones of me running around, but that's not the case. At least that's, not possible for us at this point. So, once a permit is approved, then I feel like we can assist with publicity by posting, by putting a post on our Facebook page of, the event coordinator's flyer or, vendor information or what have you. In those cases, I think, again, for consistency's sake, I'm just gonna put them out there and then state, this is an informational post only. Please contact whomever for event details and vendor inquiries. And then if there's a special event permit, then I'm just gonna put city-issued special event permit number, whatever the number is. And then that's that, because, I put these posts out there, and then people are asking questions, how can I be a vendor? Who do I call for this? It's like, Not us. I'm
Not
sorry. I
you,
don't have
right.
time to field those and answer them back. And please contact, the Humane Society of Carroll County for the wolf stock or,
Right.
this or that person. That way, if it's just no
Right, 'cause
comments.
that takes a lot of
It
time.
does. It
Yeah.
really does. Social media management is a whole other facet,
Yes, it is.
of the job. And again, if I had a clone, I'd get that social media clone to take care of the social media stuff. Yeah. So that's all I have on
I
that.
mean, I agree
Do you
with that.
concur with that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
of course, we want to partner with more people, but we need,
More people to partner.
we
Right.
need, right, we need to have more, more
Right.
people in the department to have that.
Right.
Because, I mean, yes, volunteers are great, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be there either to make that happen, so.
Right.
Or to
Exactly.
take on I'm gonna partner with you as a volunteer, so.
Right.
I get it. A little worn, a little tired.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yes,
get it
indeed.
and we understand and
Yeah.
we appreciate you and I think a special event permit makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do
Does
going forward.
anybody think otherwise or have anything else to say about it or? No? All right. Consensus.
Okay, consensus. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's all I have.
Okay. Does anybody have any additional questions for Lorena on anything she went through?
I got an idea, which is dangerous. I was just wondering who would be interested in, for us and whoever else, families and whatever, would be interested in an evening of baseball over in Frederick.
Oh, wow.
I do enjoy that.
What's that?
They
You
have
enjoy the-
two teams over there. So there's ball games every weekend. So, and they fireworks on Friday and Saturday night.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you right now that during this busy season, the weekends that I don't have events on are precious to me. And I need that downtime, so
Well,
you're
that's
gonna
what I'm
have to,
saying.
you're gonna
No,
have to
this-
count me out.
This is a pleasure, this is a
Yeah.
pleasure trip. This is not a
Right,
work
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
This was
Right,
just an idea to
yeah,
go have a cold beer and a hot dog and watch a ball game. Relax a little bit.
yeah.
Schedule.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It was just an idea.
No, I think that's
That's
a
a
great
nice
idea. If y'all wanna coordinate, something, have at it, yeah. I'm just gonna tell you right now, count me out.
Lorena said, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
You know, it'd be fun. Might think of something maybe in September, mid-September. I don't
Yeah.
know. Do they still play? No, I guess
I
not.
don't know.
They're
When
done.
are they done?
They're done first part of September.
Okay.
So to see, be on.
All right, well then,
Yeah.
we'll look
Yeah,
at a calendar and see.
right.
Okay. That'd be fun.
Just a thought.
Well, thank you, Bill. All right, reports from mayor and council? Anything?
Well, same old, just always so happy with the way Parks and Rec is going. I do have, as far as the wine fest goes, I just have to say that I think it's funny doing the raffle baskets, hearing from people that after the fact said, I got the best basket. So, I love the way that we get the vendors to give those products to put into the baskets. And I got the last one delivered, and
thank
she
you.
was thrilled because I think this is her third year coming, and was like, I thought I'd never win, and
that's
finally
awesome.
getting that. So
Yeah.
I loved that part, and I was also really surprised by how many people bought the glasses.
Yeah,
That were just interested in buying those glasses. So I think that says a lot too.
Yeah, we
that
sold a
they-
few.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's good.
So they want their sets. They want their
That's the-
sets of
That's right.
Taneytown wine glasses.
That's right.
The interesting part, and I'll pass it on to those we didn't tell before. Many of the males who came as VIPs chose the smaller glass
Yeah, the stemless, yeah.
You don't trust them.
as opposed to the larger stem glass.
Right.
They wanted the little one.
Right, yeah,
It's more multifunctional.
indeed,
And
yeah,
it was quite amazing that it was broken down by sex,
yeah,
gender. The guys wanted that one, the women wanted the STEM.
Yeah.
right, that's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only other thing too is that I was up at the ACNB bank after the parade, and one of them mentioned to me that I think they would be more like to be involved in actual doing something with the parade.
Oh, okay, great.
He's not sure what yet, but
Oh,
he was
okay.
definitely
Yeah.
talking about how he would like to take that opportunity.
To participate in the parade.
participate in
Oh,
the
that would be
parade next
awesome,
year.
yeah. I mean, the parade is open to all,
Right.
you know. So we like the preference, or the focus rather, on the veterans to participate because of the solemnity of the day. But the parade is, you know, it's also a celebration as well of our country's freedom. So, yeah, everyone are welcome. So
Oh, yeah, they were
everyone's
very
welcome.
impressed with
Yeah.
how it was done, so
That's awesome.
Awesome.
that is all, I think.
Okay. All right. Jerry, do you have anything? Mackenzie? Nope. Anything additional? Bill? No? Okay. And I just want to say again, Lorena, thank you for everything you've done just in the past couple months has been amazing for a department of one. Making these events happen for Taneytown is wonderful, and I know you spend every waking hour on it, and we do appreciate it very much, so.
Oh, just a note. Sorry, I got
He
I got
remembers.
something. I recalled something that I think was important. My neighbor, who was at the Wine Fest over the weekend, made comment that he had taken his family up to Bollinger Park and was very impressed.
That's awesome. That's great. I'm glad to hear that kind of feedback for sure.
He was very impressed.
It is a beautiful park.
It is.
Don't tell the other parks, but that's my favorite park. It is. It
It's
really
getting
is,
a
yeah.
lot of use, and actually I'm running into people, just like, this is our first time here, this is amazing, so it's very exciting
Yeah,
to see people
is.
explore it and really come to love it.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
I was there walking my dog, I want to say it was over the weekend. We were getting ready to like go by where the creek was and we saw a crane fly down.
Oh, pretty.
So that was super cool and
Nice.
saw deer.
Oh, the heron, the blue heron?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there's a blue
Yep.
heron that frequents
Yep.
the creek there.
Yep,
I've seen him
and
when I've
saw
gone over the
deer.
bridge, yeah. Mhm.
So, yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
the full experience, so it's very
Indeed.
exciting.
It is,
Very
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, and I think that people. I don't think that people understand that when you first come in, the grassy area that leads to the parking lot, that is overflow parking. It's a reinforced turf. It's got meshing down under there and everything. I think people are just seeing the asphalt and thinking, oh, there's not enough parking here. So at first I was kind of deciding, okay, maybe we put, the parking space stops, the long things,
Yeah.
curbs or whatever, there. So that way it's evident that that's for parking. You can use that for overflow parking. I mean, going back in time, if we could, I would have done a pervious asphalt so that it wouldn't have affected our stormwater requirements with the pervious nature of it. But also, it would have been more obvious to people that, oh, yeah, there's parking here too, with the lines
Right.
striped on it and everything. So I guess hindsight is 20/20, but
Right.
the only other option that we could do at this point is either, like I said, put in the stops or put up signs, that's overflow parking area.
Yeah. Sign.
What do you think? Couple of signs, one on each side that says overflow parking area?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
More obvious than
Cheaper.
that.
Yeah,
For now until.
Yeah.
That works.
okay. Alrighty.
All right. So with that, again, Thank you. And always, thank Tony too, because I feel like he's
yes.
a board member as well, unofficially.
Yes.
Because. you
My
drag-
husband is
you
always my
drag
biggest
poor-
helper.
You drag your poor husband. Come on, we're doing it.
Yeah, I
So,
know, yes. He worked really hard on
we
Saturday.
appreciate everybody who volunteered so much to make that happen, because we wouldn't have been, there's just no way.
Yes, indeed.
It was all hands on deck, so thank you so much.
It was, yes. And thanks to Emmanuel and his wife for coming on
Yes.
their anniversary, and
On their
Mackenzie.
anniversary,
Please thank your
yes.
neighbors and friends again for us. Stephen and Maria really appreciated their help.
We
as
do
well.
appreciate it very much. So with that, if nobody has anything else to discuss, we are taking a break in July. How exciting. But we will have, of course, Family Food Truck Friday, right?
Yes, Family Fun Food Truck Friday.
Yeah,
Yep.
July 19th. We've got fireworks, July 3rd, and we've got our Artisan Fest, July 20th. So even though we have a break in July, Lorena doesn't have a break in July, so we're
Right.
sorry.
Yeah, and don't forget, I think there are a couple of movies in the park.
Yes,
Yeah, in July as well. Yoga starts up in July
okay.
also. Yeah,
So lots of things happening in July. We're just taking a
yes.
break because, well,
right.
we deserve it.
Right.
We worked hard so far. So with that, our next meeting is scheduled for August 14th. That will be at 6:30 right here. And we don't meet with the Taneytown Athletic Association until September. So this will be just us in August. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. So all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. All right, we'll see everybody in August. Thank you.